Okay, get this. You actually share about 99.9% of your DNA with the person sitting right next to you. Crazy, right? But it's that tiny 0.1% that makes things incredibly interesting. Welcome, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. I am so absolutely thrilled to have you here because we're going to embark on this fascinating journey right to the very core of who you are. We're looking at the architecture of nature and nurture. Think of yourself as a masterpiece, a brilliantly complex structure. Today, we're going to explore the incredible intersection of your genetics, your environment, and God's overarching design in creating you. It is definitely going to be an eye-opening look at what makes you, well, you.
Okay, let's dive into this. Are you destined to be exactly like your parents? Like, do your genes control absolutely everything about you? It's a super common myth that genetics are basically a crystal ball, locking you into some specific destiny. But the truth? It's way more dynamic and exciting than that. Your genes give you a starting point, for sure, but they definitely don't write the whole story.
Section 1. Your unique genetic blueprint.
I really want you to grasp this idea. Every single person watching this explainer right now is a completely one-of-a-kind blend. You've got a foundational design authored by God, but that design is continually interacting with your unique life experiences. You aren't just some copy-paste of biology. You're an original, living, breathing combination of code and context. And this actually leads us to a beautiful piece of scripture from Philippians 2:4. When we truly understand that every single person has a distinct, irreplaceable blueprint, it completely changes how we see each other. Recognizing our own unique design should immediately inspire us to appreciate and really look out for the uniquely designed people around us. Your classmates, your friends, your family. Literally none of them see the world or experience it exactly like you do. And you know what? That is completely by design.
To really wrap our heads around how this uniqueness happens, we've got to look at the two big players on the field, nature versus nurture. Let's break this down nice and clearly. Nature represents the genetic blueprint we're born with. It's those inherited instructions hidden deep inside your DNA. Nurture, on the other hand, well, that represents your environment. This is everything, what you eat, and yes, that absolutely includes those late-night pizza rolls, where you live, the climate you grow up in, the amount of sleep you get, and the everyday experiences you have. Both of these are working together, right this very second, to shape who you are.
Let's look at how nature works on a really basic level. Some parts of our biological blueprint are wonderfully straightforward. We call these simple traits. A simple trait is controlled by just one single gene. A perfect example is your blood type. It's locked in. Whatever blood type you inherited from your parents, well, that's what you've got. Your environment isn't going to somehow change your blood type. It's purely a matter of your genetics.
Section 2. The power of your environment.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the environment steps in. Think about it kind of like building a house. You could have the most spectacular, perfect architectural blueprint in the entire world, but if the builders use really cheap wood and weak concrete, that house just isn't going to hold up. Your genes are the blueprint, but your environment provides the building materials. And this introduces us to complex traits. Unlike simple traits, complex traits are influenced by a whole bunch of different genes working together, and they're heavily impacted by environmental factors. We're talking about things like your intelligence, your athletic ability, or even your musical talents. So you might have a genetic baseline that gives you a massive starting advantage in basketball, but if you never practice, never eat healthy food, and never even touch a ball, that's the nurture part, remember, you aren't going to suddenly become a star athlete.
Let's ground this science in your everyday physical reality. Take height, for example. Your genes give you a potential maximum height, but if you don't get proper nutrition and sleep, especially right now while you're growing, you might not actually reach that potential. Look at skin tone. Your base genetics determine your natural color, but your environment, specifically how much sun exposure you get, totally changes how it looks. And allergies. You might be genetically prone to an allergy, but you're only actually going to have a reaction if you encounter that specific environmental trigger, like pollen or a certain type of food.
Section 3. Predicting traits in real life.
So why does any of this matter outside of a science classroom? Like, why do we even care about predicting these traits? Well, understanding this interplay between nature and nurture gives us incredible practical tools that literally change the world around us. Here is how trait prediction is put to work in the real world every single day. First up, agriculture. Farmers use this knowledge to select and grow crops that are genetically stronger and way more resistant to bad environments or pests. Second, healthcare. Doctors use genetic histories to figure out if a patient has a higher risk for certain illnesses, which lets them recommend environmental changes like diet or exercise to actually prevent them. And third, animal breeding. We can predict traits in animals to ensure healthier generations. predicting everything from a horse's physical strength to a dog's specific coat color.
Which brings up a pretty essential question. With all this amazing science, why can't we always predict traits perfectly? The answer lies in literally everything we've just discussed. It's because nurture and the environment play such a massive, completely unpredictable role. We might know the exact genetic code, but we don't always know what environmental factors that person or plant or animal is going to encounter. Predictions are incredibly helpful guidelines for sure, but they are never a guaranteed destiny.
Section 4. Education guided by morality. We've covered a lot of incredible science today, but I want to loom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Because learning all these facts about genetics and biology is a really powerful thing. But how we actually use this knowledge matters so much more. So the crucial point is this: education without morality will hurt. This is a core philosophy at Hero Smart Academy for a very good reason. I mean, what is the point of being highly intelligent, understanding complex science, and being supposedly educated if we just continue to make choices that cause pain to ourselves and to others? Knowledge absolutely gives us power, but biblical morality, that gives us the true north compass we need to use that power wisely and kindly.
And there is a profound reward for pairing your education with that moral compass. As Romans 8:6-7 beautifully promises, there is a peace of mind available to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. When we align our learning about the physical world, things like genes and environments, with a deep spiritual understanding of God's purpose, we don't just gain a bunch of facts, we gain a truly peaceful, purposeful life. And honestly, that is our greatest hope for you as you engage with this material. Which leaves us with this final thought for you to take away today. Consider everything we've learned about complex traits, the beautiful blend of nature and nurture, and how literally no two blueprints are exactly alike. What does this say about how God values diversity? I want you to really think about that as your homework today. Take some time to reflect on the beauty of our complex, unique traits and what it means for the world around you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your minds curious, and I'll see you next time.